Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks podcast post-game show presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app and use promo code CHGO when you sign up. That was about as bad as you would expect it to be when a tanking team goes up against one of the best teams in hockey. The Blackhawks lose 6-1 to the Boston Bruins, and yes, that was indicative of the play. That was a rough game, and we were talking during the game about Ian Mitchell making his debut and preparing for the show, and it was so one-sided that it's almost hard to break down. It was just complete domination from start to finish by the Bruins. The Hawks had maybe 2 or 3 shifts where they had some sustained zone time. Most of them did not even create a scoring chance. It was just point to point to along the boards until they would turn it over. Yeah. The Hawks just could not get it going. The Bruins were on fire, and that's what happens. That's what happens when you have the best against one of the worst. It got ugly.
These are the final fancy stats of the night. Shot attempts, 73 to 33 for Boston. Shots on goal, 43 to 18 for Boston. 5-on-5 scoring chances, 39 to 14 for Boston. 5-on-5 high danger chances, 13 to 3 for Boston. So,
oh my Lord!
And I believe all 3 of those came in the third period. Didn't they have 0?
It was
40 minutes.
It was 0 high scoring or 0 high danger chances overall, not just 5-on-5.
Right.
After 2 periods, I believe. So yeah.
If you were to play a game on paper, this is exactly what
this is what it would look like. Yes, this is exactly what it would look like.
If you looked at these 2 rosters and the stats before the game and just said, we're just going to let the computer simulate a game, you would get a 6-1 Bruins win. Yeah. And that's exactly what we got.
Yeah.
It's probably what should have happened. It just, man, Bruins are just,
they're so good.
The word of the night was wagon.
Wagon. You said it first, though.
I did.
You were the first to use wagon.
The NBC Chicago microphones. We're going to find out where they are because Colby and Scott Darling and
they're
Pat,
definitely here.
They were all saying wagon after I said it.
We hear a lot of things that we heard on this show first on that show.
And their set looks exactly like ours too. But that wasn't the first thing that you said that came into fruition on TV, because
that's true.
We were talking in the second period where you just said, we were talking about wow, it's amazing that when Seth Jones goes down, you're essentially using your 6th and 7th defenseman on the power play. That's all you have. And then you said, well, screw it. Just go with 5 forwards. And then literally a minute later, there was 5 forwards on the power play.
And they scored. And they score.
Well, because Max Domi actually shot the freaking puck for a change.
Yeah, look
at
that. It's crazy that when you shoot the puck, you have a better chance of scoring than when you don't shoot the puck.
I believe Wayne Gretzky had a line about that once or twice.
Yeah, he might have.
Like that.
He's on to something, that Wayne Gretzky.
Sam in the chat says the Hawks are the lowest scoring team in the NHL. Only Toews and Kane would be on the Bruins roster. I mean,
maybe.
Probably Domi would be on there too on the 4th line. But I mean, that team is just stacked. And how many times have we talked about the great Blackhawks teams of the past? It wasn't just the stars. It was 4 lines. It was 3 pairs. It was 2 goalies. And you could not stop them. They were just too deep. And that's what the Bruins are. Yeah,
I'm thinking my preseason prediction of the Bruins missing the playoffs is not going to be a good one. Not one I'm going to be proud of. I don't know which is worse. My prediction, the Bruins will miss the playoffs, or the Ducks will make the playoffs.
They're both equally pretty bad at this point.
Yes. So
see, the Bruins, though, not exactly like the Penguins, but we looked at this as, okay, they're going for it one more time. David Krejci's coming back to play in the NHL, but what is he really going to look like after, what was it, 2 years away?
1 year away.
1 year away, okay. Yeah. Patrice Bergeron's another year older, so is Marchand.
And
what are these guys going to have left?
was supposed to be gone until January, and he comes back in November.
Yeah, with double hip surgery. Him and Jake McCabe have the same amazing doctor, apparently. But it's just all those guys are playing really well. Bergeron and and you've still got Pasternak playing at a high level, because of course he is. He's really, really good.
Right.
And that's the thing, is that's a team who, like we criticize the Blackhawks and he who shall not be named, when you give everybody all the money instead of signing your best players to like maybe $1 million bit less to stay and keep the team competitive. That's why Boston and Pittsburgh have been able to maintain, and the Hawks have not.
And they've also kept coaches there too.
Right.
Like that goes. You don't replace one of the all-time greatest coaches with, some numbers dork from Sweden that's never had a chance at it. You go out and actually get like experienced coaches to coach these guys too. Good for Jim Montgomery.
Yeah.
As someone who has dealt with alcohol abuse and knows how hard it is to stay sober on a day-to-day basis, I am super happy that he's got this second chance and he's succeeding big
Doing
time.
great.
He's a guy that's easy to root for, even though I'm not a big Boston Bruins fan. I'm happy for him and his success. We'll see where this team is at come March and April with all these veteran guys. I don't want to. I'm not looking for things to go bad, but you've got guys that are older that have histories of some nagging injuries. So, are they going to keep winning at a 15 out of every 17 games? No. But let's see where they are come, playoff time. If I'm the Toronto Maple Leafs, I'm hoping and praying they win the division so they don't have to play them in the first round and end their season again in the first round.
Well, I mean, that's how the story goes, though.
Let somebody else end the Maple Leaf season in the first round for a
Someone
change.
else have a chance.
Yeah.
Boston has all the fun. Let
Someone
somebody
else
do it.
inflict pain on the Maple Leafs for once.
Yeah, I mean, Boston. It's a tremendous team, but yeah, there's some aging bodies, a lot of miles on the tires in that locker room. So if they can sustain this, it would be pretty incredible. But I mean, they're still a very competitive team, and they're in the East is really tough. But when you have, I think the other thing too that really helps them is they have two goalies that you can trust. Like Swayman is proven to be, a goalie that you can trust. He's a young guy, and Linus Ullmark is off to a great start this year. So it's when you have two goalies that you can trust, no matter who's in net, that really helps. And then when you're the team that scores the most goals per game in the league and the team that allows the fewest per game in the league, that also helps.
It's a really good recipe for success.
Yeah.
Scoring the most goals and giving up the fewest.
I think
you're going to
that's
win a lot more games than you lose when you do that.
two of the most important things in hockey.
Maybe the two most important.
To be the best at is a good thing to be.
And one thing about Boston down the stretch, now that they're off to such a just ridiculous start, 16-2.
By the way, tied an NHL record for the best home record to start a season in NHL history tonight.
11
the
straight
Panthers
wins.
and the Blackhawks, I believe, also share that record. The 63-64 Blackhawks, and the Panthers just a few years ago also won 11. When you're 16-2, and you're playing in a conference as tough as the East, and you've got a lot of veterans, you've given yourself such a good cushion.
Oh, yeah.
To where come March, April, late season, you can give Patrice Bergeron a night off. You can give David Krejci a night off, or Brad Marshall. You can play them less minutes in a
cut the
particular
minutes,
game.
yeah.
You can really reserve them the last 20 games of the season because you've pretty much clinched a playoff spot in November.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You'd really have to not only would the wheels have to fall off the bus, but the bus would also have to explode.
Yeah.
And then the wheels that have fallen off catch on fire for this team to miss the playoffs.
And then it gets hit by another bus's wheels that is also on fire, and those fell off. That might do it.
It's just the scene in Blues Brothers where all the cop cars are crashing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It would be the biggest collapse in pro sports history if the Bruins were to miss the playoffs right now. So they can take this huge start and use it to their advantage down the stretch when resting their veteran players.
Yeah. Well, let's get into the Hawks side of this thing. And like we said, there's just not a ton to really analyze because it was just so one-sided.
They wore their
so
retro
overmatched. Yeah.
uniforms.
Yeah, should we talk about that?
And that was it.
We can do that. Some people I see, where did I just see it? Oh, Dr. Horror Show says it's a plain jersey. It looks bad, but in full gear, the pants and socks, everybody, and everything, it looks cool. We said to each other, if it just had a Blackhawks logo instead of the generic Chicago across it, that looked like it was made on Canva, it would have looked a lot better.
Yeah.
It did look all right on the ice. I thought it was kind of hard to read the numbers at times.
Yeah.
It was.
Any jersey that has that stripe.
Yeah.
is difficult.
You gotta outline the numbers just the right way, but it's just like a block white, so it gets lost in the striping. I mean, I'm with you, Jay. Like if they had the logo on it, or even if it just said Chicago in like that like script font that you see on like they have it on sweaters and T-shirts and all this other
Like the
merchandise.
cursive,
If they did it that way, that would look better than just bold caps lock Times New Roman Chicago. And I think the striping, I give them credit for trying to do the barber pole, but like you could have just did the barber pole and it would be fine.
Yeah, I don't hate the jerseys, but I don't necessarily like them either. They're there.
it's not one you need.
I'm not going to buy one. But, again, it's like
Well, here,
it's Adidas's thing.
yeah, exactly.
And it's kind of like, well, all right, fine. Those are your options you're giving us, whatever. We'll wear them the 4 times, and then we'll just throw them in the back of the closet.
Yeah, we were basically told in fewer words this was a punt on 4th down.
Yeah. Like, it was...
They're going to wear them, 5 times?
Four more
times at home.
times.
Yeah, and then they'll never wear them again. Adidas's deal will be gone, and
After
we'll never
next
hear or
season.
speak of them again.
They're pretty much...
They might not even go on clearance.
They're not going to waste a really cool jersey design on a 4-game, 5-game requirement. They're
Right.
going to want it to where they can wear it something cool and wear it as often as they want. And
And they're not going to waste it on this team.
Right. You're going to save it for, Connor
Austin
Bedard
Matthews.
and Austin Matthews skating around in that new all black jersey.
When we talked to Danny Wirtz and Jamie Faulkner a month or two ago, they basically said the All Blacks are coming back at some point. They've also, others have told me, like, there's better plans in the desk that they're just not using yet. Mm-hmm. And again, they're not going to waste them on a 5-gamer, and it's never going to be produced again because Adidas
Right,
goes
especially
out of
because
business.
Adidas is going away.
Right.
Yeah.
On a team that, not going to win a lot of hockey games.
You don't have
Yeah.
you don't have the most eyes on right now.
Exactly. Yeah, there could be some cool things coming. They hinted at the black jerseys more than once. They
Yeah.
said it to us when we interviewed him, and then at the red carpet ceremony,
Mm-hmm.
Danny came over and said hello to Mario and I, and he was asking us overall what we thought about the retro. And when we mentioned black jerseys, he kind of like had a little smile on his
Mm-hmm.
face, like he knows something. Listen, this is one front office, unlike the previous front office. They see what everybody else sees, and they're listening to what everybody is saying.
Mm-hmm.
They know that people would love the all black jerseys to come back. They know that.
Yeah.
They know that, and they're going to wait for when the time is right, when there's more eyeballs focused on the team, when there's more marketable guys, when there's guys that you could sell the jersey because you know they're going to be here for 8-9 years, not guys that are going to be here for 8 or 9 more games. It's
I will say though, I have seen some Domi and Lafferty jerseys around the UC.
not surprising. Those
Saw
are
them
guys,
together
Yes,
at the UC.
yes.
yeah,
They're walking
Maybe we
as
saw
a
the same couple.
Yeah, yep.
I would hope it's the same. I mean, I can't imagine too many couples both rocking those jerseys.
yeah, I don't
but
know.
The Lafferty doesn't surprise me. The Domi, not a huge surprise either. I mean, those are guys that, like, Blackhawk fans gravitate to.
Yeah.
The grindy, hardworking guys. During the Stanley Cup years, you had all these great players, and one of the most jerseys you saw in the 300 level was Andrew Shaw.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not a surprise those guys are selling.
Well, if you
jerseys.
needed a new one for this year, I mean, the choices are limited. I assume if you have a Lafferty and a Domi, you probably already have Kane and Toews at home.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for one,
Seth Jones,
I guess Lafferty. Yeah, Seth Jones is the safest one to buy right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Michael says the team stinks, the players stink, we stinks. Yes, that is the
Newsflash.
plan.
That was the.
That's what a rebuild is.
That's by design.
breaking news.
You'd rather have everything be awful with a plan to get better than what we had last year when we were sold that this team's a playoff team and things were actually worse than they are now.
Right.
So I'm fine with the everything is bad with the
With a purpose.
caveat that we're going to bottom it out to get good again. That's I'm fine with that.
It's always darkest before the dawn, as they say.
Hopefully, yes.
Yeah. Well, I guess we can recap the scoring here if we got 25 minutes to kill. Bruins got on the board early. Taylor Radish took a tripping penalty, and right as that penalty was expiring, David Pasternak took a cross-ice pass One-timer from Brad Marchand and scored his 10th goal of the season. That was at 4:53. First period ended 1-0, which was a little bit crazy. The 5-on-5 numbers, shot attempts were 17-4 to Boston. Shots on goal were 10-2. Scoring chances were 8-1. High danger chances 3-0. So there you go. That's not very good. We went, what was it, 7 minutes at least before the Hawks even had a shot attempt?
At least.
Yeah, it was at least that. So
it was a 20-minute power play for Boston to start the game.
Very one-sided. Second period begins, 4:28 in. Patrice Bergeron scores his 9th of the season. Charlie McAvoy with just a sick, no-look Patrick Kane pass to Bergeron, and the one-timer is his 999th NHL point. So that's a beauty from McAvoy. He really made that happen. And when you put the puck on the tape of Patrice Bergeron, he's not going to miss very often.
I think Bergeron actually went between Tenorti's legs on the shot, too.
Yeah, it was
it was a very impressive play.
Unbelievable play. Hawks cut the lead in half after Jonathan Toews scores his 8th of the season. Damn it, I did it again. Max Domi takes a point shot. Yeah, he takes a point shot, and Jonathan Toews redirects it. Crazy things happen when you put the puck on net. That is Toews' 8th, Domi's 8th assist, and Philip Kurashev got the 3rd assist on that one. Then things started to get out of hand. Late in the third period, 18-10 in, Jake DeBrusk scores a shot that leaks past Mrazek from Marchand and McAvoy. And then just over a minute later, actually, David Krejci scores his 5th goal of the season. Another one-timer. It's like 3 or 4 one-timers from them in this game, from Greer and McAvoy on that one.
They were set up.
Yeah.
When you have very nice, crisp cross-ice passes, those one-timers are there.
Yep. So there you go. It is 4-1 after 2. And then 11-12 into the third. Pasternak scores again. Wide open net off a one-timer. Jack Johnson stuck between Foligno and Pasternak. And what you're supposed to do is take one of the skaters out of it so the goalie knows who to defend. Jack Johnson got stuck in between, didn't defend either guy. So the one-timer was wide open for Pasternak. It's 5-1. And then 17:57 into the third, Taylor Hall, a little sneaky point shot, just kind of flutters through, and it's his 6th of the season. So that was it. 6-1 is your final. I do want to say Ian Mitchell made his season debut, and while it's kind of tough to evaluate too much of his game, he ended up -2, 16:25 of ice time. He had a block shot. That included 118 of shorthanded time and 56 seconds of power play time. So used in all situations. There was a point in the game where his partner became Jack Johnson when it was Philip Bruce to begin. I was trying to isolate on Mitchell as best I could. It's tough on TV. It'll be much easier tomorrow at the arena.
Hopefully he's in the lineup tomorrow because I want to watch him.
Yeah, but I would say I didn't notice him in a bad way at all. I mean, -2, sure. They lost 6-1.
Yeah,
but there were no glaring
everybody was a -2
mistakes from him.
No,
at all.
No, and I mean, it's a tough task to be thrown into the lineup your first NHL game of the season, and go out there against the Bruins. Like, that's hard to do. And what I will say though is that he was, getting significant ice time, was getting a lot of opportunities, and I think it can't hurt to have him back in the lineup again tomorrow. Maybe Caleb Jones comes back in. Philip Bruce takes the seat. But yeah, I mean, there's no reason to not have him back in. There wasn't anything that he did that stood out as like, oh my God, look at this guy. Like, nothing like that. So
yeah,
give him a second game. Can't hurt.
Based on the shot attempt numbers, if you had to pick one of the lines, what would you guess was the Blackhawk line that did the best tonight?
Well, we played this game in the third period, but it was the fourth line, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was the
Jujar
Kara, Reese Johnson, Colin Blackwell. 5-on-5, they had the least amount of time, but still they were eight shot attempts for, 8 shot attempts again for an even 50% Corsi.
Even.
The other lines, The Patrick Kane, Max Domi, Andres Athanasiou line, 7 shot attempts for 20 against, 25.9%.
Not great.
The Jonathan Toews, Philip Kurashev, Taylor Radish line, just 4 shot attempts, 4 to 16 against.
Not great.
That was actually 16-0 after 2 periods.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then
they locked it down in the third.
They dominated that third period. And then the Jason Dickinson, Sam Lafferty, Mackenzie Entwistle line, 4 shot attempts, 4 to 10 against, 28.5%.
Not great.
So that's just getting your ass handed to you up and down the lineup.
Here's your ass.
Take it and get out.
Guess who led the Blackhawks in shots?
Jack Johnson.
He had 5 shots on goal.
Yeah.
Ow.
I mean, yeah.
That's like the 3rd time this season he's led the team in shots.
If that's happening, you suck.
Yeah, something's going
That
terribly wrong.
can't happen. That just simply cannot happen.
Are you guys missing Seth Jones yet?
Yeah. This team does miss him.
They miss him drastically.
Even, yeah. He's the best defenseman. He can play in all situations. He generates offense. He's not a tire fire defensively, and you can't replace him with this current roster.
With this roster, no. You have so many guys playing roles they're not fit to play, and that's why you saw 5 defensemen on the power play at one point. There's
5
just
forwards.
no one.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. 5 forwards on the power play at once. There's no one on this team aside from Seth Jones that has any sort of consistent offense, and I think we know for a fact that's the reason Ian Mitchell's here.
Yeah.
Because he brings a little something different. But he wasn't getting out on the power play until it was Kara Entwistle time. And again, how do you evaluate?
Yeah.
Because they can't control a puck for any extended period of time.
Nate has an interesting question here about how are we feeling about offensive, defensive schemes, power play, PK at this point of the season. I realize the roster isn't good. We're 17 in about the systems. I mean, you just said it. The roster's not very good.
Yeah.
System-wise, I'm fine because it's a very simple system.
Yeah.
Luke Richardson is not overcoaching. He's not trying to make things. He's not trying to reinvent the wheel. He's just letting guys go out and play instinctual hockey. Be the guy that got you to the NHL. Be that guy.
Yep. Yeah.
He's letting guys do what they do. Unfortunately, there just isn't a lot of talent. So the systems are fine. And I think Luke Richardson is a smart enough coach that when he starts to get a more talented roster, he can start to implement more bells and whistles, more little things. He realizes I don't have the horses to do. So I just got to put guys out there and just be like, protect the puck, keep it simple.
Yeah, do your best.
Play north-south.
Right.
Just get shots on goal. They're not doing that, but that's not a system thing. That's just a talent thing.
Yeah, it's when you're playing the right way strategically, but you're just not talented enough. Like it's gonna look bad. But when you have eventually a roster that can do all the things right, do the little things right that make Richardson's simplistic system actually really effective for long stretches of time, then you're going to see it that way. The only thing I would change is the power play. Never do the drop pass. And I don't know if that's if that can get better with better players, but we've seen this team with a better power play, quote unquote, do the drop pass and have the same results. And I just
I never understood of why would you get the puck almost to the blue line, go backwards to go capture that ground.
Yeah.
You're just allowing the penalty kill to get into the zone and set up.
One of the first power plays tonight that the Blackhawks had, one of the first rushes, the Bruins defended the initial puck carrier perfectly. It played behind them and then played them through their body and forced, I forget who the puck carrier was, but forced them to basically like, I can't drop pass it because I have a defender on my butt. Like that's a guaranteed turnover. Forced them to carry the puck into the zone, and lo and behold, they got into the zone and created a scoring chance off the rush. Like crazy, right?
Next time we're in front of Luke at a practice, I want to ask him that.
Yeah.
Like, what are the advantages of this slingshot, drop back, whatever you want to call power play? Because it seems like a trend. It's not just the Hawks. It seems like it's around the league. And I just don't get the point of having everyone meet me at the blue line and then everybody starts skating. It seems counterproductive.
Yeah.
Comment from Region Rev. She says it's a simple system, but it seems veterans included, no one can follow it. I don't think it's a matter of them not understanding it. It's just a matter of them not having the talent to execute.
Yeah.
And Jamie says the same thing. Simple passes don't connect all night long in every zone. That's a talent issue. Yeah. Yes, that's exactly what it is. It is an issue of talent.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say everything we've heard from the players is that the system is simple. It's easy to translate. It's easy to understand, but it's just the guys executing it.
Yeah, we said before the season even started, and when they had that early season success, 4 wins in a row, we said, okay, let's see how these guys react to. It's easy to start executing when you get in the results.
Yeah.
But when you have a couple games where you execute and you don't win, all of a sudden then that execution starts to lack. And that's what we're seeing here. We're starting to see that snowball, that avalanche start. And we've been saying, how does Luke Richardson react when those losses start piling up? Well, the losses are starting to pile up. And it's one thing when you're losing 4-3 and you're in the game.
And it's hard fought, and you're right there.
This past week, they've been getting their ass kicked.
Yes.
The Blues spanked them around. The Bruins spanked them around. And the Penguins, that's a team that you probably can beat. They're not great, but they're a veteran team that knows how to do the little things. So you would hope in a night that, you're going to have a full house. Your only sellout of the season. You're going to have the emotion. That anthem is going to be huge.
Yeah.
You hope you could take advantage of that. And, hey, here's a crazy idea that just might work. Score the first goal of the game, for Christ's sake.
No. No.
Play with a lead. I
No.
bet you they played with a lead for what, 9 minutes the entire season?
Seems like it.
That is so funny. Like, how is that even possible?
I don't know. That's what it feels like.
It really, yeah.
I know.
They've given up.
Overtime wins, shootout wins. Like
they don't get a win. They don't get a lead in the game until they win it in overtime. I'm gonna research that. I'm gonna have
How long have they
How
led?
long have they actually led? I guarantee you, it's less than a period.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's play the game right now. Over under 12 minutes.
I'll say over.
I'll say over, but not much.
But not
over.
by much.
It's got to be between 12 and 15 minutes that they've actually.
Because the San Jose game early in the season that they won 5-2, they didn't
down 2-0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't take the lead until third period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can't be that much.
It can't be much more than 20
I'm going to
minutes,
research
if
that. I'm going to come up with that number.
I love it.
Maybe, it's not a big number, and they've given up the first goal of the game 13 out of 17 games. 9 of those 13 games they've fallen behind 2-0. Oof. This is what we've been telling you when everybody goes, oh, this 2 weeks ago it was when we were here last Saturday night after that Ducks game.
Yeah, everybody's freaking out.
Everybody's, oh my God, they're too good. Well, here we are 7 days later, and this is what we've been telling you. The bad 5-on-5 teams do not pull out very many 2-0 comeback wins.
So my buddy Charlie the Bacon guy who's in the chat there says, I think the odds on Pittsburgh winning by 3+ is -110 like tonight. He got the Bruins -110 to win by 3 or more.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I believe it, though.
Your average line is 1.5. That's like the default.
Yeah, that's the
for every NHL game. So for the Bruins to win by 3 or more was still minus odds. That's insane. That's crazy. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
I mean, that's what happens when you have this Blackhawks team against a team that literally leads the league in both least goals given up and most goals scored. Like,
Jeez.
It's math.
That's crazy. All right, well, look, before these guys let you know about Shady Rays and Athletic Greens, we want to remind you about our new Die Hard level here at CHGO. You are Die Hard Chicago sports fans, Die Hard Chicago Blackhawks fans. It's time to prove it and let everybody know you are a CHGO Die Hard. So many of you have been here with us since day one, and we appreciate it, but we have sort of adapted our membership. Most of this written content is going to be completely unlocked. We want you to have access to that, read all that. So when you become a diehard, you've already got that, right? So the benefits of being a diehard are You get a free shirt or hat every year upon renewal, a free CHGO shirt or hat, which is awesome. You get 20% off all merch all the time at chgolocker.com. There are diehard exclusive designs, which might be one coming out tomorrow for a certain special event for a certain demigod, my friends. So keep your eye on that during the game.
Certain legendary player.
You get discounts on the tailgates, the takeovers, all the awesome events we have. If you are a CHGO diehard and a CHGO fan, with the free T-shirt and all the discounts on events, this thing pays for itself over time. So jump on, go to allchgo.com and become a diehard. You also get a membership card that proves that you're a diehard. It's an awesome thing, and just know CHGO is always, and All City, PHNX, DNVR, we're always looking for ways to give you guys, our diehards, better benefits, better plans. We're constantly evolving for you, so jump on, take advantage of that deal. And look, if you're already a CHGO member, you're automatically upgraded to the diehard status if you're on that yearly plan. So jump on it.
Love it.
And you should also jump on some Shady Rays.
You don't want to,
because if you do, they'll replace them.
Right, exactly. You can jump on them, and they'll send you a brand new pair for free.
We should get some Shady Rays and just test this out on the show. Like, what can we do to it where they'll be like, okay, stop. Stop doing that. We're not replacing him anymore.
It says no questions asked. Let's test that theory. Yes, our friends at Shady Rays, they never understood why sunglasses were so expensive, so they set out and changed it, and dagnummit, they've done a really good job of that. You do not have to break the bank for quality sunglasses this fall, even though it feels like winter out there, because Shady Rays has you covered. Shady Rays should come out with some full shield
some
sunglasses.
Ski goggles,
Keep your face warm. Shady Rays are premium polarized shades featuring world-class optical clarity, substantial durability, and styles catered to everyone and every lifestyle. Best part about Shady Rays is that insane and protection program we just talked about. If you lose or break your shades on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. That sounds like a really good YouTube series. How far can we take that policy? Even with that strong of a protection program, they still managed to make quality. I could tell you from being a customer of theirs for a couple of years, they are just as good, if not better, than any of the expensive name brands on the market. Shady Rays also provides 10 meals to fight hunger in America with every order placed, and have donated over 20 million meals to date. So not only are you going to look good, you're going to do something good for others in need, which is, popular activity this time of year, even though it should be 12 months a year. They stand behind their product and told our team that if anyone has a problem, they will throw profit right out the window and do what it takes to get it right. Free returns and exchanges. You either love the shades or Shady Rays will pay to ship them back. That's it. An exclusive for our listeners, Shady Rays is running their deepest deal of the season. Use the promo code CHGO at checkout, and you're going to get 50% off 2 or more pairs of sunglasses. That's buy one, get one free. The more you buy, the more you save. You can get 2 awesome pairs of quality shades for as low as $54. Check them out at shadyrays.com.
And as we learned a couple days ago, the mystery box.
Not only is there a mystery pair, my laptop must have heard us or something. I had a Shady Rays ad pop up. Right now they're doing their Black Friday sale up to 60% off site-wide.
Oh,
there you go.
Gotta like that.
And the mystery box.
And
Just get everyone you love sunglasses and call it a day.
Sunglasses and CHGO t-shirts. Your Christmas shopping is done.
And bacon from Charlie. Sorry.
You're going to be looking good.
Yeah, Charlie, do you want us to send you the address to the office? To get some bacon here.
Well, they got to put up a new street sign so the delivery drivers can find it.
Yeah.
One of the most, are we doing, you got to do athletic.
Well, you can tell your story.
But so the official address here takes you to a door that's down in the alley, not our main door. So I had to go find Mary and Hossa yesterday.
Finding Hossa.
Which is always awkward. I'm like, over here. And then he's got to walk through the cold, and it was embarrassing.
Yes,
but I got to ride the elevator with him, which was
we
magical.
almost lost Mary and Hossa in an alley. That would have been bad. Not good publicity.
That would not be a great, not great for us.
No. If you missed it yesterday, by the way, I don't know how you did. It was all over social media and everything.
Yeah.
But Mary and Hossa was here. in this building, and we talked to him for a good half hour. And God, there's so much more we could have asked.
Oh my God, I re-listened to the episode driving home, and I was just thinking the whole time. I was like, I wish we would have asked him about this, and about that, and about that. And I was like, well, we didn't have a whole 12-hour day with him. Like,
seriously, we could have used it.
It would have been it'd be great. The next time he's in town, we'll try and see if we can get follow him for a day and ask him all these questions.
I couldn't get over how cool of a guy he was. We'll get into it. I want you to do Athletic Greens so we don't get off track. But the way he started the interview really stuck with me, and it's been on my mind since we talked.
I bet Marion Hossa has an AG1 program.
It
certainly looks like it.
If you watched the interview yesterday, or you saw the pictures that he took with us, you could see what AG1 can do for you when you look at Marion Hossa. Because, my God, could he... When he said, like, I think I could probably still play on the third line, I was like, yeah, I bet you could.
Yeah.
This team, he could probably still play in the top
This
six.
team, he'd be right next to Patrick or Johnny Toews, just in his old spot. But yeah, Athletic Greens, AG1. They got the formula designed for you to improve your gut health, optimize your immune system, and give you more natural energy. In just one scoop of AG1, you absorb 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens that help you start or end your day right. And if you have different dietary restrictions or you follow different diets for whatever reason, whether it's gluten-free or dairy-free or vegan or pescatarian, as our friend Big Dave is.
Isn't that a religion?
No. Presbyterian is a religion.
Okay, sorry.
Pescatarian is where you're vegetarian, but you still eat fish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I learned something new today.
Yeah. But yeah, whatever it is, you can put AG1 into that diet and you're good to go. It's easy to incorporate into your life no matter how busy you may be. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. Just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's all you need. To make it even easier, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you got to do is go to athleticgreens.com/CHGO Blackhawks to take ownership over your health and to pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
All right, a couple rapid-fire questions I want to answer before I get to the Hossa story. Sam says, what is the unwritten NHL rule for trades after Christmas? There's not really an unwritten rule, but Thanksgiving is usually when teams know whether or not they are contenders.
Usually.
So you'll start to see teams around this time of year start to decide, okay, maybe it's time to start looking at making some moves. I read it somewhere on interwebs today, but and we know this for a fact, but I forgot who wrote it. I don't want to give the wrong credit. But the Bruins have been scouting the Blackhawks almost more than anybody in the league. So they've got their eye on somebody here. And look, there's also going to be, with the East as competitive, and the West too, as competitive as it is, some teams are going to be looking to jump the gun and get ahead on some of these trades. So I still think the Hawks are probably better off, at least with Toews and Kane. Well, at least with Kane, I would think, for sure, waiting until the deadline and trying to get teams to really get in a bidding war for him. But I think they're open for business. Like, if someone wants to call and knock their doors off for somebody, sell high on somebody who's playing, well early, that like Toews might have that drop down a little bit as the shooting percentage goes down and the frustration starts to mount.
It could, yeah.
You could see those numbers go down. So I don't know. I don't think there's anything that
Jonathan Toews, the way he's playing now on that Boston team, good Lord.
The rich get richer.
That would be quite the thing.
it kind of works visually too. Like I can envision him in a Bruins uniform, which is weird.
19 retired by Boston?
I do not think
No,
so.
Sagan wore 19.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you
go. John says, are you guys going to be doing draft profiles on guys in our range later in the year? I would think in the new year we'll start looking at some real draft profiles.
March, April, when we have an idea of more better year.
And we've been throwing out some names in our weekly rebuild report between Greg and myself for guys to keep an eye on. Obviously, Bedard, Fantilli, and Michkov still the focus. But we've been throwing some names in there.
We'll definitely, when we kind of have a better idea of where they're going to pick with some of those, that Tampa pick and maybe a second or a third or a fourth pick, we'll definitely focus more on guys who make sense at those spots. But right now we're just kind of Our weekly rebuild report comes out Thursday. No longer behind a paywall, so start getting used to clicking on all those all CHGO. You may have been brushing them off because you weren't a member, and you're like, I don't have a membership. I can't read it. It's not the case anymore. The rebuild report is out from behind the paywall. Every Thursday it comes out. Mario covers all the prospects that are playing juniors and college hockey in North America. I've got all the prospects playing professionally, both in North America and Europe. And then we're also kind of showing you some highlights and giving you a heads up on some of those top prospects, including the big three, but some other guys that could be there as well. So Thursday's rebuild report, it's free. Check it out. It's got a really cool logo now.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, looks good.
Saw some people, too, asking about Connor Bedard updates. He has an assist tonight, so that adds to his 75-game point streak or whatever it is now. He's got 1,000 points, I think, for the season. It's pretty crazy.
His point streak can now buy a beer in America, but he can't.
and he cannot, no.
Yo,
He can't even get one in Canada yet.
Is it 21 in Canada?
It's 19 in Canada.
19. He's not even that old.
He's not even that old.
Jeez.
Also, a WHL note, Kevin Korchinski and Nolan Allen, now teammates in Seattle. They are pairing mates, line mates on the defense. Pair
think
mates?
I would hope
what is
that
the term for that?
I think partners, defensive partners.
Defensive partners. There you go.
I think that I would love to know, and I would think he would have, Kyle Davidson, as soon as that trade was made a call and said, hey, how can we make sure these two play together as much as possible?
Yeah, maybe.
If Korchinski and Allen are your next Keith and Seabrook.
I mean, it makes sense to pair them together anyways because of the way they play.
Yeah,
Korchinski,
right.
the offensive-minded guy.
Stylistically.
Yeah.
And Allen, the stay-at-home. They are the perfect pairing.
That Thunderbirds team is going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm really thinking we need to start laying the foundation to road trip it to that last road game of the year in Seattle in April. That'll be right around WHL playoff time.
That would be
too.
good timing, yeah.
So, yeah.
I would love that.
Jake, if
Seattle
you're
is one of
listening-
my favorite cities.
I love Seattle.
We can crash with my aunt and uncle, who are
See?
the most low-key West Coast people in the world.
Sounds
More
great.
reason to go. They don't have to split for an Airbnb this time. So
Exactly.
Yeah, let's
I
make it
got
happen.
I got a friend that lives in Seattle too. Went out there for his wedding a few years ago, and I fell in love with the Northwest.
It's beautiful.
Love that place.
Yeah, it's
Love
like
it
my
out there.
ideal kind of nature.
Yeah.
Pine trees and mountains and all that stuff. Love it. All right, why don't we do this? Why don't we do our fourth stars of the game? And,
Sure.
And
Were
take
there
care of
four-
all the take
or
care of
were
all
there
the
three to
prompers,
name?
and then we'll get into some Hossa love after that. All right, the 3 stars of the game as chosen by 98.5, the Sports Hub. Number 3 star, Brad.
Be rad.
Brad Marchand is your 3rd star of the game. He was all right. He had a pretty decent game. He had 3 assists in 16:02 of ice time. Only won 33% of his
getting hit in the
faceoffs.
face.
So what a bum. The number 2 star, David Pasternak. He's also pretty good.
Yeah, not
he
bad.
had 2 goals, 19:54 of ice time. A mere 7 shots on goal for David Pasternak.
Jeez.
Jesus. Good Lord. And the number 1 star, Charlie McAvoy, he was outstanding in this game. So good. 4 assists, plus 3, 20:52 of ice time, and 6 shots on goal.
Jesus.
Oh, my God.
Wagon.
That's pretty good. So,
Wagon of a team.
yeah. Okay. 4 star of the game for me. This is a guy we were talking about during the game. Colin Blackwell. I've been saying for a couple weeks, like, you see what the Hawks are trying to do. They just don't have the skill to execute it. Colin Blackwell is the embodiment of that, where you can tell the hockey IQ is there. You can see the hustle. You see the guy working his ass off, but he just doesn't have the skill to pull off the things he wants to do. Now, at some point, Colin Blackwell is going to have to get that message and simplify things and change the way he plays a little bit. He's been healthy scratched a few times, but I just want to shout him out for just his hard work. He really, really cares, and he really, really plays hard. But you could just see he's a guy out there doing the best he can, but he just does not have the skill to make most things happen. So it is an effort. It's a participation trophy.
Yeah.
But Colin Blackwell gets my 4 star tonight.
Yeah, I've liked Colin Blackwell on this team for the role that he's playing.
All right, Steven, put my guy up there because I forgot who I picked. There it is, Jason Dickinson. All right, yeah, that guy. He did some things. He skated and was only a -1, which I guess is a small victory.
Was he the Luis Mendoza on that one play?
Yes, yeah. No.
Was it Dickinson?
Was it?
I thought it was Dickinson. We'll have to go back and.
It was like Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah, he just bulldozed his own goalie.
No shots on goal for Dickinson, but he was not alone in that category. But led the team with 5 hits, had a block shot and a takeaway, and won 8 of 11 faceoffs for 73%.
Not bad.
I mean, I know the Dickinson line didn't do good in the shot attempt, the Corsi race, but they were like the most noticeable. Like they were at least the ones that were making some things happen. It appeared. So
trying to, at least.
It's nights like tonight. Segment is really hard. So
Yeah, Steven shouts to us, what do you guys got for 4 stars? And we're like, yeah.
the bus driver for pulling it. It was a bad game when they're showing highlights of the freaking team bus driver. Like that's not great.
Yeah, that's not really what you're going for.
No.
Yeah.
My 4th star of the night was Max Domi. He shot the puck.
Way to go, Max!
And something happened. Something
go,
good
Max.
happened. So good job, Max. He got the assist. Had another shot on goal. Besides that shot pass, as it ended up being, won 54.5% of his faceoffs, 19 minutes and 12 seconds of ice time. Just shoot, please, more.
I think
Do that. As simple as I can
Max
make
listens to this show, he's going to shoot a puck right at our heads at practice.
Yeah.
One of these days.
They try it anyway.
They do. Every time we
That's
walk
true.
down after practice, they miss by 1,000 miles just to scare the crap out of him.
Yep.
And it works.
They
Well,
do
and I
good
like
at
that
it.
he, just leaned into one at least, from the blue line on the power play goal. Let's do more of that.
Well,
More
look at-
shots from everybody. Like at this point, what does it matter?
Look at Taylor Hall's goal.
Yeah,
He's like, I don't have anything to do with this. Throw it at the net.
Right.
Goal. There you go.
This team is not talented enough to try to score these fancy 3-pass goals.
the
Just
tic-tac-toes.
throw it on net, get a couple bodies up there. Maybe it hits off a skate. You're there for a rebound. Just shoot. They're not even attempting to shoot half these times.
We talked to Luke Richardson about that last week. He stared into my soul and answered that question, and just said like sometimes it's a matter of guys just trying to be perfect because they're frustrated with not scoring, and then reference like our practice was really focused on just shooting and keeping it simple. Well, Max Domi took a maintenance day that day on the shooting practice. He probably refused. No, I'm not participating in this.
I'm going to pass on practice today.
I am religiously exempt from a shooting practice. It was,
He's going to punch us all in the head.
No, I like him. The reason we want him to shoot is
he's
because
good at it.
he's a guy who's good at it and has scoring ability.
Yes.
I want to see Max Domi rack up the points for several reasons. Seems like a good dude. Can up his trade value, can help the Blackhawks be more competitive. He's got to put the puck on net. I'm sorry. I know there's pressure playing with Patrick Kane. I know that. Like, a lot of guys have talked about it, but at some point, you got to this isn't working. We got to try something new.
Well, especially when Kaner's shooting at less than 5%.
Right, yeah.
Like it's not working for him right now. So maybe try scoring some goals yourself.
And we've seen over the years a number of line mates with Patrick Kane take advantage of when they're on the ice together and the opponents are focusing so much on Patrick Kane that they have extra ice to work with. Domi's gotten that a few times.
Yes.
And he's still passed it up. So it's like
for Kane.
So it's like still like when you have it, like take advantage of it. And even Andres Athanasiou too. Like he's creating some of his own chances out there and taking ice away from Domi and from Kane and creating things on his own, opening things up. Like, just shoot, man.
There was something I wanted to mention. This reminded me. We sent out a cool little graphic wishing Patrick Kane happy birthday. Happy birthday, 88. 34th birthday. If that doesn't make you feel old, I don't know what does.
Well, I'm 32, so.
But
Shut up.
Quiet you.
No one asked you.
Yeah. And no one's asking you either, Steven.
29, I'm telling you anyway.
Jesus Christ. I hate everything right now. But anyway, I retweeted our wishes to Patrick Kane saying, hey, how many goals do you think the birthday boy is going to score in Boston tonight? I didn't get a ton of replies, but every single reply was 0. I'm like, Jesus, my Lord, has the mighty fallen that people are like, he's not going to score tonight.
Yeah, Jamie's got a good question. If he has his worst season, does it change his trade value? He says no. I think no either.
No.
People know who Patrick Kane is.
Yeah, and I think
And teams that want him have the players that can make him Patrick Kane again.
Yeah, he'll be able to play off of more talented players, more.
The Rangers have a guy that he has a proven track record of being really good with. They're not worried about his.
Put him on Colorado's second line, Boston's second line. Like shit.
Yeah,
that's gonna work out fine for him.
You know what team he'd be really fun on? I don't think it can happen, but Carolina. That would be fun. They're already extremely fun to watch.
Put him with Teuvo again.
Put him with Svechnikov. Good Lord.
And Aho. Oof.
Yeah,
That's fun. I'm down with that.
yeah. So yeah, I don't think and he still leads the team in assists. He still leads the team in shots on goal. His shooting percentage is like microscopically low, super below his career average.
Uncharacteristic.
So, it's not like he's been completely invisible. He's just not scoring goals. He's still doing the things that we're used to him doing. And yeah, he looks frustrated out there because he is frustrated because he's a guy that wants to score goals. And, he's for the first time in his career, he's not playing with, all world talent. I don't know about first time in his career, but it's been a long time since he's had since he hasn't had Alex DeBrincat or Artemi Panarin, guys with that world class one timer on the other side of the rink that could just blast home the passes. All he had to do was put it on their tape, and you knew he was getting an assist.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that right now. And
Domi would pass it back.
Right. And like somebody, I don't remember who it was, if it was in one of our chats or if it was on Twitter, but somebody brought up a good point saying, back before you had Panarin, Kane did his best when he had a guy like a Dave Boland on his line, like somebody that could just get to the net and, wreak havoc. And maybe it's time to do something like that and maybe put, a Jason Dickinson or a Sam Lafferty on with Patrick Kane and just have them stand in front of the net and see what happens.
Simplify things.
Yeah.
This has to be the least talented roster that Kane has played on.
No doubt.
Like even his rookie year was Toews, Seabrook, Keith, Sharp was there.
Was Havlat there?
Yeah.
Havlat was there. Michael Hanzus.
Yeah. This has to be the least talented lineup he's
Probably.
By a mile.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would think so.
And that's part of the frustration because I think he's just so used to being this all-world elite player, and he doesn't have that guy on his line that gets it, and he's not going to this year.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to our fourth star of the game. I'm sorry.
King of the game?
King of the game.
King of the game.
Presented
No
by
more 4
DraftKings.
stars. Those
My
first
bad.
We
four-
ran out of fourth.
Those first 3 were hard enough. I can't pick another.
All right, Petr Mrazek is
I
your
love
star of
that
the game. 6 goals against on 43 shots against, an .854 save percentage. I think that's 37 saves if my math is correct. 43 minus 6 is 37.
I did see the numbers keep changing on ESPN's box
Yeah.
score.
Well,
whatever.
regardless,
It was a lot of shots.
It's a weird, crappy game when we picked the goalie who gave up 6 goals as the best player on the ice.
respect for surviving, for not killing your teammates.
It could have been 6-1 after the first period.
Absolutely. This could have been an historic loss if not for Petr Mrazek, who is making several, 2, 3, 4 saves on a single opportunity.
Yeah.
He played really well despite giving up 6 goals, which is crazy to say.
He was on an island all night.
He got ran into about 4 different times.
Yeah, he was on an island all night, and they got to play better in front of him. They just felt bad for him, and he did the best he could. So
There's only so much you can. As we've said before tonight, there's only so much this roster can do before talent is just not there.
Well, here's a quote from Luke Richardson. This is from Ben Pope, who's out there in Boston. He says, this is Luke's quote, "That's probably the best team we've seen in a while. We got caught just standing and watching quite a bit. If you work and compete, there's no reason in this league you can't compete with a team like that. We've got to realize that quickly and not be starstruck." Connor Murphy, quote, "It almost looked like they were running a bit of a power play on some of our 5-on-5. That can't happen."
Yeah.
Those are true observations. Whether or not they can
Yep.
will their way to compete with the Bruins remains to be seen. Could it have been better than 6-1? Yeah,
Sure.
I would think so. But again, it's just hard for any of us to kind of muster the anger.
It's
After
these teams could
expected
play
loss.
10 times and this kind of outcome would happen 8 or 9 times.
Yeah.
Like there's not much that this Blackhawks team could do to just muster up a competitive effort. It's just the talent gap is way too far.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, hockey fans, it's finally time to hit the ice again. And thanks to DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, you're in for the season of a lifetime. New customers can bet $5 on any team and get $200 in free bets if they win. I think I saw Charlie say the Penguins to win by 3 or more is plus 180. So that's a little more reasonable.
Penguins to
I
win
would
by
throw-
3 plus is plus 180. Yep.
Yeah, so I can deal with
mean-
that.
I'd throw a couple shekels at that.
Yeah.
Parlay that with a Sidney Crosby goal.
Well, see, now you're talking about the same game parlays, Greg. That's the most exciting way to play. You combine multiple bets, like which team will win, how many goals will be scored, and more for your shot at an even bigger payout. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. You can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code CHGO. Bet $5 on any NHL team to win their game and get $200 in free bets if they do. That's code CHGO at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See the show notes for details.
Hey, do you kids like to save money? Sure you do.
Yes.
Everybody does. And the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program is committed to helping families and businesses in the communities they serve to save money and energy. ComEd offers free facility assessments that can help find energy-saving opportunities, whether it's lighting, HVAC systems, commercial kitchen equipment, or industrial processes. An authorized engineer will work with you to develop a detailed assessment plan specific to your goals and needs. These can be done in person or virtually and last approximately 2 hours. Within 3 to 4 weeks, customers will receive a report detailing energy efficiency projects that they could start working on immediately. Each recommendation will include estimated energy saving, cost savings, project costs, and potential incentives and simple payback. Don't wait. Start saving money and energy today. Get started saving energy and money today. I'll read that in English this time. For energy saving tips to schedule your free assessment facility, go to comed.com/poweringbiz, B-I-Z. Ready to sign up for a facility assessment? Call ComEd at 1-855-433-2700 during normal business hours to speak to a ComEd Energy Efficiency Program representative, or you can email businessee@comed.com or request an assessment online at their website, comed.com/facility assessment.
All right, we are not wrapping up the show yet. We've got some good Hossa stuff coming up, including an incredible photo, which you probably haven't seen yet. Make sure you smash that like button if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening to the podcast, subscribe. Please do that. That's very helpful as well. Okay, I want to tell this story real quick, and if you missed the interview, we asked him, how it's going to feel when that number goes up, and Marion, really kind of poured his heart out, was like, I can't cry.
Yeah.
I've been places, and I've tried to cry, and I am incapable of crying, and for a guy to say something that vulnerable as the first response to our question.
Yeah, that was the first question, wasn't it?
He even said he didn't even cry at Pavel Demitra's funeral, one of his best
He
friends.
said he tried
And
to
he was
cry,
trying to cry.
and he couldn't.
Yeah, it's talk about setting a tone.
Crazy.
Well,
Yeah.
it's crazy. But not that I don't want to get super personal, but I'm kind of the same way, where I just can't, for whatever reason, I just can't get it going.
Yeah.
So when he said that, I really wanted to I would spend an hour talking about that with Marion Hossa,
yeah.
But I just thought that was fascinating. He's such an interesting guy, and you could tell there's a lot of depth to him that he probably keeps a little bit hidden and a little bit protected. But he got here about 20 minutes early yesterday and hung out and was just hanging out like anybody. There was no ego to him. There were no demands. There was no don't talk to me. I'm going to sit out. He wanted room temperature water.
Room temperature water.
That was for his voice, though.
Right, yeah,
He was
his
losing
voice.
his voice.
His voice, and you could tell in the interview he had to like stop his question and drink some water,
right?
Because he's been doing this just for like a week straight. And Greg, you pointed out too how many books he's been signing.
Yeah,
his
his right
hands
hand
got
has
to be
to be cramped.
cramping up.
Carpal tunnel.
So so tomorrow, reminder, get there as early as possible. Ceremony starts at 4:30. The atrium will open at 2:30.
Gates
The
at
United
3:30.
Center will open at 3:30. The gates. At 3:50, there is the special Blackhawks alumni panel, which will feature Patrick Sharp, Brent Seabrook, Duncan Keith, and Nicholas. How did Hossa say?
Hjalmarsson, I think. Something like that.
Hjalmarsson?
Yeah.
Good old number 4. They're going to be there. And then, the number raising ceremony starts at 4:30. Puck drop at 6.
350. Is it going to be about a 15-minute panel?
350 to 410 is what they have marked.
20 minutes.
20 minutes, because
So-
you're going to need to give people time to get to their seats.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great day. I cannot wait.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to get there right at 11 a.m. and I'm going to sleep outside. I'm
Yeah,
going to
there
sleep
you go.
outside the doors. I'm not missing anything.
It's going to be, the atmosphere in that building is going to be great. Something we probably haven't felt since 2015. It's something we're not going to feel again
Probably
until
not.
they retire
Yeah.
Duncan Keith's number next
Yeah.
season.
Right.
Make sure you are following us on social media at CHGO_Blackhawks on Twitter, at CHGO Sports on Instagram. We'll be putting stuff up throughout the day from the Hossa
There's going
festivities.
to be at least one really, really cool thing once that banner goes up.
Yeah.
Keep
And
your eyes open.
Speaking of social media, you may have missed, I missed this earlier today on Marion Hossa's social media, the Last Supper photo. Mario, you are the one who
Strangest
tweeted this
thing.
out. Can you please describe to the folks listening on the podcast
Yes,
what the
I
hell
will.
we're looking at?
You're looking at got to be one of the most random assortments of former and present Blackhawks players surrounding Marion Hossa in a Last Supper-esque photo.
Yes.
This photo was taken by, trying to figure it out here, David, I'm trying to remember the name. Oh, I'm terrible at
Yarrow,
this.
David Yarrow.
David Yarrow. He is a famous European photographer, I am told. And his vision for this photo was to put together the essence of the Last Supper, the essence of the Blackhawks, and the essence of great Chicago architecture all in one photo. Why? I don't know. But
Because he can.
because he wanted to, and he wanted to do it with Marion Hossa. From left to right, as I understand it, is Seth Jones and Max Domi, of course, Chris Chelios, Jonathan Toews, and Corey Crawford, a woman that we have been unsuccessful to identify. We don't.
If you know who this is,
This
Send us a message.
It's not Marion Hossa's wife.
right.
We're trying to still effort who this woman is. A giant turkey, and then Marion Hossa in the middle, and then Patrick Kane, who looks like rookie card Patrick Kane, and then Dennis Savard, and then over the shoulder of Dennis Savard is Michael Roosevelt, blast from the past, and then next to him is Duncan Keith, who is looking over the shoulder of one Adam Burrish.
Who looks like Phil Collins.
Yes, I thought it was Ed Belfour for a second, but apparently it is Adam Burrish. And on the very right, Ben Eager.
Doing his Terry Bradshaw impression.
Yeah. So
That is the weirdest casting.
it's quite the crew.
Like, I get Toews and Kane and,
Yeah.
and Keith and Crawford.
teammates and
Chelios
whatnot.
and Savard, okay. Blackhawks legends. They got, Savard's got his number retired.
Chelios and Hossa played
will.
together in Detroit.
They did, true, yes. Ben
Jones-
Eager and Burrish were teammates, but, okay.
They were on the 2010 team.
Roosevelt
yeah.
was a
Abbott.
exactly.
Roosevelt, yeah.
Roosevelt was a
Domi and Seth
team-
Jones.
Yeah, Domi and Seth Jones are weird.
Were they
They're
just like hanging around and like, oh yeah, we'll be in this picture?
There must have been like, okay, kids, you drive us tonight. Like,
That's true. That's true. It is. It's
just
quite
more
the photo.
confirmation that Michael Roosevelt still lives in Chicago.
Is that not Hjalmarsson with Jones?
No,
No,
it's Max Domi.
Look at the mustache.
Yeah,
Well.
it's quite the story.
If we want to start a controversy here, if you look at the Last Supper photo, the third person from Jesus' left is Judas.
Right. Jonathan Toews is Judas.
Jonathan Toews is in the Judas role.
Mark Lazarus pointed that out
Yeah.
earlier. Yeah.
So there you go.
Also, if you
knows?
really zoom in, I don't know, Steven, if you can do this, Corey Crawford's face.
Photoshopped.
It looks so photoshopped.
It's like weird. It's got this weird filter on it.
And I swear that's Patrick Kane as like a rookie.
It's probably for lighting purposes.
I thought it was the Miz.
That would have been great.
One thing, but I want to make sure we get. Charlie asked, "Where can we watch the ceremony if we're not going to the game?" It will be broadcast on NBC Sports Chicago if you're local.
Yep.
If you're not local, the NHL Network is going to show it as well.
Okay.
So if you're one of our fans that don't live in the Chicago area and you have the NHL Network, you'll be able to catch it there. I don't know. I know we got a couple fans checking in from Canada. I don't know if any of the Canadian. I would imagine TSN or Sports.
Yeah.
TSN has like 38 channels. I would imagine one of them would probably.
that would
you
be
would
show
think
this.
so. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe if the Hawks should. I wonder if the Hawks would stream it too.
I would also check that. Check the Blackhawks website.
Yeah,
they might
YouTube,
stream
their YouTube
it.
channel might have it on.
If not, I mean, there's going to be. Check social media. There's going to be people sending out videos and pictures throughout the entire ceremony
Yeah.
for sure.
It's gonna be awesome. I cannot wait to be there.
And yes, Jamie, that is an actual picture. It's a real
Yeah,
thing.
it's real.
All right, let's before we wrap things up, we need to update the tank standings. Let's do it.
The tank.
There it is.
Oh,
Love that spinny old tank. Looks good.
It's a good looking tank.
We need a
All right.
98 on it.
Well, here we go.
Can we animate?
The-
Look
Yeah.
at that. We're almost in the white.
Here we go. Here we go, baby.
Actually, yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yep.
6.
The
They are
Hawks are
tied
s-
for sixth.
Yeah,
there.
The Hawks are tied for sixth. That's still sixth. Anaheim still in the lead, 18 games, 11 points. Ottawa with 13 and 17. Arizona with 13 and 16. Columbus with 13 and 17. And Buffalo with 14 and 18.
I blame Jay because we were walking in the United Center and you were like, "Man, I think Buffalo's for real," and I don't think they've won a game since.
Yeah, he kind of screwed the pooch on that one. But
Tage
the-
Thompson, he's really good.
Yeah,
He
like
is.
him. It's
He
one of my new
definitely
favorites.
is.
But the Blackhawks coming in at 6th with 15 points in 17 games. So there you go. Things are starting to look as expected
Yep.
for the Blackhawks, and it's safe to assume it's only going to keep getting worse. So, all right. We're back tomorrow after the Hossa retirement ceremony. The three of us will be there for the entire ceremony, so make sure you're following all of us on social media. He's at Mario_Tirabassi. He's at Greg Boysen, and I'm at Jay Zawaski. And, of course, the show is at CHGO_Blackhawks. Make sure you're following us there. And in the meantime, become a CHGO diehard. Go to allchgo.com for all of that great information. We want to thank Steven for running the show tonight. We will talk to you tomorrow night after Hossa has his number retired for eternity. This has been the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.